Yeah, yeah. Remember, the key to success is working hard. For our country, we must have regard. Forget all your differences, let we start to build. And onward to progress we surely will. Because now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say that is the main foundation. So come let us work hand in hand, because this is our land. Come my brother, come my sister, and let us build a nation together.
Come, my brother, come, my sister, and let us work hand in hand to build our land. Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique belong to all of us, and we have a responsibility to make it better for our children and children. I want to welcome you to this segment in the program. I want to encourage those on Facebook and YouTube to please share the live. Sharing is caring. I want to start off this morning by saying a lot is happening in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique. And this morning I want to feature the Honorable Tevin Andrews because he continues to do a lot of work in Carriacou. And only recently they opened a very important piece of road in Kako. And I want to feature that this morning because things are happening in our country.
Residents of Bossejou, and let me also recognize the contractor. So, governments should not take praise for building roads because that's our responsibility. So I ain't taking no praise at all. It's not my money that take to build a road, your money. That's taxpayers' money. That's our responsibility. But I thought it was important that we pause for a brief moment for this road opening for two reasons. One, the people of Kako still have some blows for me because they said we built a road not too far away from here and we never had a road opening and they still want a road opening. So I didn't want to build another road in the area and don't do one. And two, the importance of this road, noting how long the residents have been clamoring for the road to be built, for access to their homes. There's Lynn in particular, Pandaman, of course, everybody, especially when it rains, you saw the difficulty. And even when there was no rain, the condition of the road was so bad. And I'm happy that your government is working on your behalf to do its job in providing better and quality access to your properties. So I'm proud of that. We will continue to improve our road network on the island of Carriacou and Petite Martinique. I am proud as well with the amount of roads that we are building. I'm also proud of the fact that as we speak, we have 13 contractors that are contracted throughout Carriacou and Petite Martinique, whether it's building roads or doing concrete works. We're very proud of that. It means the impact it is having on the economy through your hardwares and of course the men that are employed and so on and so forth. So for Bossejou, Kako in particular, we have some more road projects on the way within my first 5 years. And one of the another important road that we have to undertake soon is that road going up to How you call that way again? How you call it? Well, it's considered Kako as well. Kako is such a big place. But another very important piece of road in Kako that needs to be done for the residents up there. They too have been clamoring, and we are hearing their call. We will do what we have to do. And of course, as you see, as much as people, some try to stop us on the Bel Air Road, the Bel Air Road is progressing and progressing lovely. It's an important road that connects the hospital and makes it easy for access to the hospital, to and from the hospital. You have the bottom hospital road that is also being done. You have some road projects in Harveyville and other places that have been done. And of course, not forgetting road work that is being done on the sister isle of Petit Martinique. Oftentimes, Petit Martinique feels left out. But apart from the road projects that have been done, you also have some projects that are about to start soon. For example, our ministerial complex will be started very soon, sometime this year, later on this year. It's a project that we've been trying to get off the ground for many, many years. My predecessor, and may he rest in peace, Elvin Nimrod, tried to get it off the ground. It didn't come off the ground. George Prime tried to get it off the ground. It did not happen. Magistrate Kendra Stewart tried to get it off the ground. It didn't happen. And I'm happy that intense work has been done. We are now waiting on the quantity surveyor for the costing. And as soon as that is completed, which I believe it should be ready next week, we would get the ball rolling and to start the project, to issue a contract and start the project as soon as possible. And of course, we have the Hall of Justice, another project that we are aggressively working on, which will be close to the new ministerial complex that we'll be building. And we are now putting plans in place for a new Dover government school. So all of those things are things that are happening. You have the Windward Fish Market that is being constructed. Very soon, as we finalize with some of the landowners in Windward, we'll be building a communal building in Windward as well to accommodate the people that are traveling to and from Petit Martinique so that they can have a place to rest and to weather the elements, the weather elements. Whenever it rains and whenever, of course, the sun is shining too hot, they'll have a place to sit comfortably and also use washroom facilities and so forth. So all of that is being done. So I'm happy with the construction side of things. And of course, there's still a lot more, plenty more things that needs to be done. But Rome wasn't built in a day. It wasn't built in a day. We can't provide jobs for everybody, or every contractor. We would not be able to fix every road at the same time. We would not be able to deal with all of the projects that you deem as being priority. But with one step at a time, we will be able to achieve a better Carriacou and Petit Martinique, and by extension, a better Grenada. So this road I'm very proud of, as small as it is, very proud of it because it's having a big impact. And I know how very happy and proud the residents of this area is about it. So thank you very much.
Right, so that was the Honorable Tevin Andrews there, and he continues to do an excellent job in Carriacou and Petit Martinique, and he really gave the people a kind of idea as to what's to come, right? Not just that particular road, and we know about the many roads and drains and back walls and other things that he did in Carriacou. He actually saying to them, there are good things on the way. And I love that. The people express their appreciation.
Residents of Bossejou, and let me also recognize the contract.
Not this piece. The people of that area, they did speak out, expressing their appreciation. So let me just play that piece for you too.
Hey, Lord Jesus. I said they go bounce the pole. And then I see them swing away from the pole. The word was very terrible. And I want to thank God, for making it possible for us. And I want to thank the minister for standing on his word. God bless him.
I would like to express my gratitude to the Carriacou and Petit Martinique ministries on behalf of my community for building this useful road which will benefit all of us. Thank you so much.
Well, on behalf of the community, I want to thank you. This road, even when I walk in, I have to pick sides to walk, used to walk in them. Yo, that road was terrible, terrible. It was really, well, come minister there, she go by him and beg him every day. Tears in my eyes. But thank God that we get it done, and very much I appreciate it. Very, very much.
Thank you, Mr. Minister, for having the vision to give us this wonderful driveway. I couldn't sit there and don't say something. That was my road. So some of you all that do not know, that was my road. As a little boy, we used to run through a track here. And you know what? We used to go and stone Mr. Mose and go in the mango. So that was my road. So I'm very happy to see it, it have done so nice today. It's drivable. And I want to commend again the minister for such a good work. Thank you.
Take time and I write down all the things that I love for my island. Best believe for my island. Best believe the list may be like 5 miles long. Best believe it's love that makes me sing this song. Cleanest rays on the waters. Friendly people meet in every corner. Together.
Yes, so thank you very much there. Again, Tevin, the Honorable Tevin Andrews. I mean, he continues to do an excellent job, a wonderful job in Carriacou and PT Martinique. All right. But, folks, I have been following politics in Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique for a while. And, I want our people to reach to that place so we can appreciate good things and good people, genuine people, because there are people who will put up a front, right? They will tell you they're genuine, they're sincere, they want your vote, right? But it's just wanting the vote. But when it comes to doing, when it comes to delivering, you have to have a heart. You have to care. You have to love the people. And that is what the Honorable Tevin Andrews is demonstrating. The love for the people. His love for the people. And you see, when you come from humble beginning, you know the struggles of the people. You know the needs of the people. And we are seeing that playing out. But small island politics is always tribal. Small island politics is always who you know and who you ain't know. So don't matter what some members of parliament on the government side would do to enhance the community, to make it better, right? Because you see, because a person is not personally impacted by something, right? Sometimes it would take a lot more to get them to understand the bigger picture. If they're not a contractor, if they did not work on the project, if they did not receive something personally, right? Then they don't see how important a piece of road or drain or a new school, a new health clinic, a refurbished community center, a refurbished basketball court, a netball court, a refurbished playing field, that kind of thing. They don't see it as very important unless you repair their house or you give them material to repair their house or you give them some money to do X and do Y. Then they kiss you, then they love you, right? That is what small island politics is. But we are seeing a lot of things happening for our communities and for our country and for our islands, which is commendable, very much so. But I am saying we are still knowledgeable of the fact that we are existing in a kind of environment where it's polarized and tribalized. So even though the Honorable Tevin Andrews is doing all of these things, you will still have people who have all kinds of stuff to say. And sometimes when you ask them deeper, well, why? Well, he didn't give me this, he didn't give me that, he didn't give me this, he didn't give me that, you see? So he's doing an excellent job in Carriacou and PT Martinique. And I just hope that our people can become so politically mature that we appreciate the things that are being done. And we can look at our beloved Prime Minister and the other ministers of government. They are doing things that are life-changing for many communities. They're bringing back life in these communities. You had community centers that were just there, dilapidated, run down. And in some instances, you had people living in them. In some cases, you had churches using them without even, repairing them, upgrading them, fixing them, because the church is saying, well, it's not ours. So while they're getting it to use, they're saying it's not ours. If we repair it, if we fix it, then they can easily tell us to leave. And then the government came and refurbished some of those community centers, build them back better, right? Make it usable again for the community, where they can have meetings, where they can have classes, where they can do things for the community. That's very important. You have clinics that are being renovated. Everything cannot be done in one day, but there are communities where clinics, medical stations are being refurbished, right? You have roads that were not fixed or attended to for many years being fixed properly, well done, right? Schools being built, being refurbished, being renovated, and so on in the community. You have people who never had a indoor bathroom and toilet facility. They're given an indoor bathroom and toilet facility, but that's personal. While we see it as a community activity, it is personal. So for these people, they will forever remember that. And I'm only kind of letting you understand how small island politics operates and how things go, right? So you have a situation where you get a bathroom, you get a piece of road, right? You get some material to repair your home. You somebody in your house get a walk, get a scholarship, something of that. It becomes personal, and then the love, the appreciation, that would intensify, right? One or two of them, they would get it personal and say, nah, I ain't care. But generally speaking, small island politics is very, very personal. That is why NNP was winning over and over and over again, even if the community on a whole was not being transformed, even if the country on a whole was not being transformed. So you have to understand the whole politics and the play of the thing, right? So I want our people to mature, to understand when a piece of road is constructed, or a drain, or a school, or a clinic, or some playing field upgraded, some community center fixed. It is for you in the community. It will benefit you and your children. It will benefit you and your family. But during the NNP time, it was about material distribution. So people used to get the materials, even if they don't use it to repair their homes, but they see it as personal. They would say the NNP gave them that, although it's taxpayers' money. So it was a personal thing. One or two of them in the house placed in the Imani program. Personal, right? They would tell you NNP put them in the Imani program. Although it's taxpayers' money that they use, right? It's not NNP money. And then instead of the government billing the main drain in that community, they would give 5 or 6 houses materials, or they will bill 5 little pieces of drain from that house to the main drain that's not fixed, because it's personal. Once they control that water from the house, they don't care where the water go after that. It can damage the road and damage everything else. They don't care about that, because it was all about getting these people loyalty, getting them to vote for them, getting them to support them, getting them to worship them in some cases. Some cases they were, it was personal. They would go in a house and they would give 2 people in that house poor relief assistance. And in some instances, that person could work. That person might be earning something, getting something somewhere, right? But they would give them that because it's personal, because they want them ultimately to vote for them and to support them. That is why the NNP was winning and winning and winning like that, because it was not about community. It was not about building community and bettering the community and the country. It was more about a personal thing, right? Very, very personal. And I can go on and on and on with a number of other projects and programs where they focus purely on their people. And in some instances, they go in a house and they give all of them, fortnights and contracts and so on to do X and do Y. So small island politics is still a personal politics, right? People remember when you gave them X and gave them Y. Even if you may give for the community, you may build roads and build schools and build medical stations and refurbish them and, those big things within the community, because we never thought our people, civics, because we never taught our people political science, right? Because we never show our people that our community is very important to our coexistence. And if we build that up, if we transform that, it will positively impact us, our families. So I hope you understand where I'm coming from. We are still existing under small island politics. We are small islands, right? It's all personal. It shouldn't be. In fact, if our people or if previous governments had focused heavily on educating our people, bringing them up to a certain level, we would not be in that situation, because people would focus on communities, on policies. So like, for example, the government passed a free tuition policy, right? It's a policy of the government to provide tuition support for students going to TAMCC and NULO. So you don't have to see your member of parliament, but instead you would be voting based on the fact that the government roll out some good policies and programs that impacted the entire country. You see? But the minute time you see folks zooming in on just the member of parliament in a constituency, then you know something is wrong. Then you know they lack political maturity. They lack, the education and the knowledge when it comes to development, when it comes to governance, when it comes to the politics, right? Because what should happen, you should assess the whole team, the leader, and the entire team. That is what should happen, you know. Yeah, because you look at the paying of the pension, for example. Yes, we know the Honorable Kirin James did not pay the pension and gratuity, but she's a part of the government, the party in power, and the government, the executive branch of government that actually paid the pension. Right? You understand? We know public officers got 13% increase. They didn't have to go on the streets and march and protest to get that, and all the fringe benefits and so on. The Honorable Lennox Andrews, he did not pay that 13%, right? But he's a part of the government that paid that 13%. Do you understand? That paid that 13%. So it should be based on the policy, the programs, the initiatives of the government. That's how you grade and rate and assess the team. But no, there will be people who are going to focus just on Lennox Andrews, Kirin James, or maybe Joseph Andal, or maybe Dennis Cornwall. You know, the personnel, the MP this, and we know that the MP would do certain things within their constituency. We know that. But if we are politically mature, if we are so educated, we would then look at the bigger picture, right? So you have clinics, medical stations, and so on being refurbished. It may not be in your area, but it occurred, it happened in some other communities. You should be happy about that. A new hospital on the way, you should be happy about that. But because they did not do it in your community, then you're not. That's political immaturity. And that is why we have had NNP in power for so long. Because NNP was not focused on building communities, on transforming communities. They were about personnel, right? Assisting X, Y, and Z personally. So they build loyalty and they get the votes ultimately, in my belief. That's what they have been doing for many, many years. Because you go into communities and the community centers, they are run down. The medical stations, they are run down. The roads are terrible. But you would see somebody's driveway that they gave materials that is properly done, fixed, but not the main road. Right? you understand? The police stations are run down. Yes. Basketball courts, run down. Playing fields, run down. Schools, run down. Of course, in communities. And that happened for 20-something years. Because the NNP was never about the community, transforming community, building the community, making it better. They were never about that. They were all about the personnel, right? In fact, they gave people materials while in government, and some of these people were not even able to renovate their homes because they never had the money for labor, and the materials stayed there and spoil, rot. In some instances, some of them sold the blocks, sold the gravel, sold the sand, sold everything because they just couldn't, they don't have the resources to do it. But they would tell you that they're supporting this particular party because they gave them this and gave them that. Personal, very, very personal. And we still have that in Grenada. That is why ministers of government, they could do all these good things in their constituency. And still for all, those NNP supporters and those who always looking for the personal stuff will still say they're not seeing them and they're not doing anything in the community, they're not doing anything in the constituency. That is exactly what exists still in Grenada. Yes. In other words, government decided to roll out the free hot meal policy or program so students can get a hot meal in the school and not have to worry where they're going to get that from, some lunch, because it is not something that, a parent, like a government giving a parent $5 every month, right, or $10 every month for that, because it's not that, then it's not impacting them personally. Although it's personal because the kid or the child, they're getting it at the school. But if they were getting that personally, so for example, the free tuition, if that parent, that same parent, was receiving that $810 in his or her hand, and then have to go and pay it to TAMCC. So government was giving them, so this is government. Government gives the parent the $810, right, in their hand to go and pay TAMCC or NULO. They would see that as personal. They would appreciate it even more. But government is paying that money directly to TAMCC. And for some of them, they don't even appreciate it. For some of them, that died on already. Right? The government gave that and that's it. Because, Grenadians tend to forget things quickly. So I am saying small island politics is still very personal. Very personal. And that is why the NNP was winning over and over and over and over. So in my belief, they took all the government programs and so on, and they place it in the constituency offices during the NNP time. And the constituency offices were known, quote unquote, as the NNP office. Right? You remember that? NNP in power. Government. They formed the government. They met the outreach offices where you just go, put your name down for a walk. You have some piece of road to fix it. You do that. The outreach office or offices in the different constituencies. When the NNP came, they scrapped all that and they went straight back into the constituency offices, and it was known, quote unquote, as the NNP office, because people couldn't really differentiate the NNP party office from government constituency office. And there was a stigma attached to it. So people were not willing to go into that office. You understand? Because it became very personal. Very, very personal. Because they knew that small island politics is still very personal. Very, very personal. So you want a road walk, you ought to go there. You want some kind of thing, you want to go there. Some assistance, that's how it used to go for quite a while. So I am saying we have to become so mature politically, and it requires a lot of education to educate our people. Because after a while, between now and the election, of course, if we don't repeat these things over and over and over again, it may stick with some people. But if we don't repeat it over and over and over again, they would forget all the good things that the NDC did in the first 2-3 years of coming into office. And that is why I repeat stuff over and over and over again, to saturate the minds of our people, to refresh the memory of our people. And that is a job that I have to do until the next election. Of course, the government, they can help by documenting the major things that the government is doing, right? So every year, for example, they can do a nice video documentary of the major things that were done on a national basis, and then empower every member of parliament on the government side to do a similar thing, documenting all these roads, the drains, the refurbishment of the schools, the this, the that within the constituency. Document it and have it showcased. So don't just talk. Grenadians love visual aid. They love to see. They love to see, not just hear. Because when you hear, after a while, but if you document it and you show this is what it was, and this is what it is. You understand the point? That's so important. And if not every year, every 6 months. I know it will require some resources, but every 6 months. It can't be quarterly. All right? Can't be quarterly. It's too expensive to do that. So either every 6 months or preferably every year, because you have enough things to showcase, to highlight. At least every year. That is better than half and quarterly. So I am saying you do it at a national level, government highlighting the big projects, the big policies and things that were done, because there are footage, there are things, materials around to do that. You produce that. And then every member of parliament, you empower them, right, to do a short documentary showing these projects and programs and all the different things that you did in your constituency, right? Highlight them, talk about them. It's not just sit down and you say X and you say Y. Go on the site, right? Have a before photo or video, and then have a now. Show people what it was and what you did to transform it, to bring it to this stage. That's so important, because Grenadians tend to forget things. So you can always play that back every year. So in 5 years or 4 years, when they open their mouth, all you need to do is say, okay, well, let me play what I have done. Let me show you what I have done, or some of the things that I've done in the 4 years. It's right here. You understand? And you can even go deeper to pull out the community. If you do a number of things in certain communities, you do a documentary just on that. And you take it and it's not just physical stuff, It's not just a concrete road or a concrete drain or refurbishment of a community center or a school or a this or that. You see? It is more than that. It is way more than that. There are things that you're doing that is life-changing for people. So I am saying it is so, so important that we understand, the politics of today is more computerized, more videography, right? It's smart because everything these days, it's short TikTok, all right, reel on Facebook and so on, short vids. So we have to understand those things because we're in 2024. And yes, small island politics still exist, where it's a bit personal, people getting personal stuff. But if we can bridge that gap through education, but also by documenting stuff, the things that you're doing within your constituency. Because everybody, in other words, all the people in your constituency don't live in one village. So if you're doing something in this village, they may not know. But if you document it, a video documentary, highlighting all these things, then they would say, yeah, boy, my MP did this work here, did this work here, did this work here. You understand the point? And then they get a greater appreciation of you and what you're doing for them in their constituency. So I want to urge you. See, I started off with Tevin Andrews and what he's doing there, how important that road is to the people, and they express that. But that is kind of, entire community. And I ask that people grow to appreciate those things while it's not personal for some people. You did not get the money or the material, but it will impact your community. It will better your community. All right? And again, I reached to the point where I spoke about small island politics and also documenting stuff, using technology, being smart, where you can document what you're doing in your constituency. You can even pay to play on programs, on TV, you could put it on social media, cut it up and put it on social media, and pay for it to be advertised, sponsored on social media. So you have to find ways and means to reach people with the message and let them know that you're doing things within your constituency. It's not easy, because more you do, people will still talk and say all kind of stuff. So they ain't seeing you, they ain't hearing you. Look at Ron, for example. I did a program yesterday of Ron, the Honorable Ron Redhead. The amount of things the man doing in his constituency, the amount of visitation. Still, there are people who say, I ain't seeing him, I ain't hearing him, I ain't this, I ain't that. Because some of these people want him to come and sleep in the bed with them, sit down on their dinner table, come and sweep the yard. They want him in the house all day. So they ain't walk in and they want him to come and sit down there with them all day and talk. There are some people like that. There are some people, they want to see me every day, every week. And that's the only time they're going to turn around and say, well, I see him and he passed by me. And that's how they do it. That's how they do it. And we have to understand that in small island politics. All right? Folks, again, I want to say to you, I have the tickets for my 10th anniversary. All right? And I want to encourage you to buy some tickets, support this event, because 10 years is a very big deal for me. I have been doing this program for 10 years now. May the 15th will mark 10 years volunteering my time and my effort, not being paid to do this. You understand the point? Serving you. And this program played a very important role in NDC regaining power and forming the government. I mean, besides other things, we had Youth for Change, we had, outreach, we had so many other things. But this program played a pivotal role in that for the last 10 years. I am celebrating that milestone on the 31st of May, 15 days after the actual date that I started, the 31st of May, at the Trade Center. And the tickets, they're fairly reasonable. 50 EC, $50, 50 EC, right? If you can't make it, if you can't be there on Friday, the 31st of May, from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m., you can still buy some tickets, right? Buy some tickets as a form of support and appreciation. You understand? It is so important. Buy some tickets. Maybe 1, 2, 3, how many you could buy as a form of appreciation. I would really love that. Because, there are expenses to cover. So it will be a celebration. It's not no formal thing. It's a casual event. Casual way. It's not formal. Right? So I want to warn you from day one. You don't have to go and buy no fancy dress and clothes. It's a casual event. You would come, there would be seats and so on. We're going to have a nice ceremony as part of that. And then we're going to dance and have fun. Local foods on sale, drinks on sale. All right? So I want to encourage you to be a part of that. at the Trade Center. All right. Tickets, it's $50 I have in my possession. And I want to encourage you to buy a couple. Buy a couple tickets. If you're overseas, you can't make it, you have been following the program and so on, please buy a couple tickets as a form of support. As a form of support. Good? So I want to encourage you to do that. Buy a couple tickets. I have them. It's 50 EC. 50 EC. Call at me, WhatsApp me. Let me know. Can get the tickets to you. And earlier you buy the tickets is better. It's better. Don't wait for it's too late. Late rounds and then no. Buy the tickets early. Once the tickets go out, then it sends the right message. All right? So I want to urge you. I have the tickets, and if you want them, you can buy them. It's 50 EC. 50 EC. All right? 50 EC, not 100, not 200 or 300. 50 EC. $50. Good? So I want to urge you to send me a WhatsApp, right? Buy a couple of the tickets. Sponsor, if you can't make it, sponsor a couple of tickets towards this very important event. So have a wonderful day. I'll be back with you tonight. Tonight, I'll be back with you starting from 8 in the PM.